Hey everybody, it's Teresa here. Today we're going to be doing a set of nails on my little friend here. She had press-ons, so we've taken those off. I'm going to show you 5 different things. We're going to show you how to size the nail tips properly for the fingertips, how to hold and glue the nail tips on correctly, proper liquid to powder ratio, how to get as close to the cuticle as possible without touching or flooding the cuticle with the acrylic, and how to polish with gel polish correctly. I'm actually going to show you a little trick where you can do an ombre with 3 different colors of gel polish very simply and very quickly. So this is going to be a rather long video, so let's get started. Please excuse my cough. I've had severe allergy problems all winter long. So that's what I'm battling with today. If I cough, I apologize. I'm going to be using KDS glue. And we're just going to open our little box of nail tips here. And I'm going to show you how to size properly for the nail. So she has medium to wide nail tips. And if you try to press like this nail tip on there, one, it's too curved and it's not going to lay down properly. And then you're going to have, everybody wants pretty skinny nails and all that. You're going to have a gap right here. And when that grows out, it's going to be a place where it can actually lift. So you can't use that size. Can we use this size, which is right next to it? This is a 9. And it's still not giving enough room for growth. When they grow out, they're going to stick out over the sides. So we go on up to an 8. And an 8 fits just right there in her nail well on either side. Is that enough? You could go on up to a 7, but a 7 is going to be way above and beyond, and it's going to stick out on the sides. And she's going to have issues with that because that's a place where it can lift too. So I guess we're at an 8 on these. Usually people have the same size nails on both hands, but they can have a little bit more narrow. So the 8 fits there. So this is how I do mine. I don't know if you can see this or not, but put one here and one here. Usually the ring finger is a little bit bigger than the index finger, so I'm trying to show you how to do this as fast as possible. So we went up to a 5, but a 5 is still showing a little bit of a gap over here, so we're going to put the 5s back and we're going to go with a 4. Grabbed a few 4s, and that's fitting nicely, because you can always, even if you're wanting to do a coffin, you can always cut that side in. Rather than having a gap there, because if you have a gap, she's going to have problems with lifting, her nails pulling away from the sides, which most people's nails, after a while of wearing them, pull away from the sides anyway, just because of dehydration. So, then we have, the middle finger is usually one size bigger than the ring finger, but in her case, that's still not fitting. So we're going to go up to 2. And again, if these seem too big, we're going to narrow them in. She's going with a coffin shape. So we're going to narrow them in and make them look much better. But they'll be on the way they're supposed to be on, and they won't have lifting problems later on. So she has a 2. This one is narrower, so we're going to go down to 3. This is why you don't want to just assume that both hands are the same. That finger is actually narrower than the other one, and usually on your index fingers they're about a size smaller than your ring fingers, but in her case they're the same, it looks like. So we're going to do a 4 on these as well. I think we did a 3 on that one. So 4 fits that. And does 4 fit this one? Yes, 4 fits this one. Now we gotta go all the way up. We know we're gonna have to go all the way up to our zeros for her thumbs. And those fit. You can get double zeros. They're kind of hard to find, but I think you can order them online. Not sure if Amazon has them or not, but double zeros are pretty big. You can use those for toenails, actually. Excuse me again. So when you're putting your gluing your tips on, let's see if I can get my glue to come out. Sometimes you have to shake the tube on down. I keep a little hairpin. Keep a little hairpin so I can poke the end of it, and it makes the glue come out quicker. There we go. Now we're cooking with Crisco. I just put enough to cover the inside of the well. If you're using brush-on glue, it's probably a lot easier than this. But I swear by this, and it's cheap enough that if a tube dries up, it's a small enough tube. Now you want to tilt your tip this way, and you want to push any excess out the back. You do not want it to go under the nail tip, because it will actually cause a groove right here that collects dirt and can actually cause a fungus. So I always just push it out the back because we're going to file on the back anyway. But these little tubes of glue are small enough that they dry in no time, for one. That's why I like them so much. They hold on pretty well. You want to make sure that you hold your tip very straight to the nail so that it doesn't look like it's crooked whenever you let go. But this way, if they dry up in the tube, you can just toss the tube. I think I get 10 of them for $5. No big deal. They're like 50 cents a piece. So there's several. Notice how I'm pressing and then I push back. That's the proper way to put a tip on it. And then any excess glue goes squirting out the back of the nail rather than up under the ridge of the nail. There's a little bit, but it's not going to be a lot. And I'll show you another little trick to cut down on your filing time too. Without getting your, I use an arbor band in my e-file and just make sure that it's a new arbor band for each client. You don't ever want to reuse an arbor band because they're so cheap. Just throw it away and get a new one. There was a little place in the corner there that didn't get glue, so I put a little bit in there. Not a problem. If you have an issue with that, make sure you go back and do that so that your client won't have a lift. I literally went to a place one time and got my nails done, and the lady put one dot of glue in the very center of the nail tip and pressed it on my nails, and my nails were all off within a week. So you want to make sure you get that whole well. She literally put one drop in the center, like so, and expected it to cover the whole nail. It did not. And so what I wound up having was air underneath each side. And by the end of the week, when all my nails were off, I'd rather use too much glue than not enough glue. And I'll tell you why. Again, you're pressing it out the back. It's no big deal. You're going to get that off the nail anyway. But if you don't use enough, you're going to give your client a really nasty bacterial infection. That's the little greenies. And they're going to get a really nasty bacterial infection that takes a while to go away. Anytime anyone says bacteria, I totally get the heebie-jeebies. I'm like Howie Mandel when it comes to bacteria. I cannot do it. And you just continue to put the nail tips on. We're almost there. If a person has an issue with their fingers turning or something like that, you can adjust the nail so that, like if their finger turns this way, you can adjust the nail this way so that it looks more straight off the end of the nail. I do that with some of my clients that have arthritis. This girl has straight fingers. You want to hold their finger straight, hold the tip straight, and then place it on. And I'm working a little slower today so that you can see how I'm doing this. Normally I would have already had them on 5 minutes ago, but I'm working a little bit slower for you guys so you can see, all the beginners can see exactly how it's done and how quickly and easily it's done when you do it right. Put my nail up. I use a quick cut. These things are amazing. So she doesn't want them very long because she has contacts that she has to put in and out. So we're going to do them about this length. And I just really, by eye, I just kind of measure. Because you can always come back and take off more, or I would rather have them a little too long than a little too short because you can file with a little too long off. Just went down. And I always try to grab the piece that is going to come off so that it won't fly and hit your client in the eye. We don't want that. Got it. It's a little bit too long. If it's less than a blade's length, I do not clip it because it will just make a bent mess. I just go ahead and you know, with the quick cut, you just want to use a really quick motion with it. You don't want to go slow because it will bend the nails up and make them really hard to file completely off. So we did that. Now, my little trick for doing coffin nails, and it saves me a lot of time, is straight nippers. Sorry. And you just cut your sides in. Maybe hold your hand like that. There we go. Then I can see what I'm doing too. Just be careful not to get too close to the client, and nip. And now you have a very easy to file coffin shape nail. Always want to pull the side of their finger over and go past that one little spot. You can get these little clippers. I got them at Walmart.com for $2.94 a pair, and I just buy like a dozen pair. That way when I'm done with a pair, when I'm done with a client, I just throw them in my sanitizer and not have to reuse them. Make sure that skin's on here. It's really easy to get the skin of the client's skin right here in these, so you want to just back off just a little bit because you can always use your file to go right there. It's very easy, isn't it, Ramel? I think I did that on the first one. She flinched a little. I apologize. And sometimes they're hard to get to. There we go. Let me see here. Too long. Another thing you can use these for is cutting off that extra. When you've gone left it too long. This saves about 5 or 10 minutes of filing time and reduces your risk of carpal tunnel. Believe me, I've been doing this long enough. I know about carpal tunnel. All you newbies out there, when you're doing nails, do everything you can to protect your body from the way you sit, to the way you file, to the way you hold the client's hands. If you're holding the client's hand like such, it's so much easier when you're using your e-file. If you're holding it like this, you're literally having to move around with your client, and by the end of the day, your back is going to be killing you. So if you have the client's hand like so, you can literally turn them the way you want to instead of moving with them. And it's so much easier on your back and your body. Especially if you have an uncomfortable chair like I do. Which is about to change. So, we want to come over here and we want to just lighten up the sides. There might be a little bit of a curve there. We're just going to square those up. And as we're doing that, I just do a quick blend. Your tips do not have to be blended all the way in. Everybody said, but I have to make it disappear. You do not have to make it disappear, especially if you're using cover powder. But you don't want to leave it humped up there either. So if you have a little bit of a hump, by all means, blend it a little bit, but it doesn't have to. You don't have to take the client's nail down to do it. If you're filing properly, you shouldn't be removing any of your client's nail when you're blending your tips. You should be filing on the tip only until it comes down to your client's nails. And that's as far as you should go, because you've already prepped their nails. I've already done the arbor band and everything on her nails. This one is just too long. Good luck getting your contacts out with that one. And then I'm going to clip it in a little bit more, because it wasn't quite to my liking. I don't do a lot of end shaping right now, because after you do your acrylic, you have to shape your ends again. So what's the point? You know, you're saving yourself a lot of time by coming back at the end and doing your shaping on the very ends. I did that because it was crooked on one side, but So I'm going to pause this and I'm going to finish these and then I will be right back with you.